Today, I'm going to talk about all of the low forwards in Third Strike. For the unaware, low forward can also be called crouching medium kick, down middle kick, or even 2MK if you're one of those. Regardless of what you call it though, it's important to know about this normal and how it affects each character's game plan, whether you play them or not. Also, I won't be talking about Gil or Shin Goki because those characters aren't normally playable. Low forward, as the name implies, usually has to be blocked and parried low. You know, usually. As medium normals, you can whiff them all to gain meter, but usually they're not your fastest medium normal, which makes them suboptimal for that purpose. You know, usually. For the sake of this video, I will be sorting the low forwards into 3 sections, as there are notable similarities in their use cases within each section, and I won't have to talk as much about the ones that have less to them. Section 1. Special and Super Cancelable. Yun, Chun-Li, Ken, Yang, Ryu, Goki, and Sean all have low forwards that can be cancelled to special moves and supers on hit, block, or parry. This is a nice tool to have, as being able to cancel to a special or super tends to grant damage and a knockdown. The most important low forward here is, of course, Chun-Li's. It's famous, you probably love it if you play her, or hate it if you don't, but either way, this low forward is Third Strike. It's a quick, safe low poke with good range that you can consistently cancel to super on reaction to it hitting. This normal is very oppressive, with how it forces the opponent to low block or else lose half their health. It can also go under fireballs, which is neat, I guess. The Shoto's low forwards are also very important here. They have similarly good range and also give the Shotos a good ability to land super from just about any scenario. Special canceling is also noteworthy here, what with Hadoken, Ken's Shoryuken, or Ryu and Goki's Tatsus. They can all be used to empty cancel, a technique where you press the button outside of its range and buffer a special or super input that only comes out if the opponent walks or dashes into the low forward, ensuring that they aren't blocking. You can also confirm these low forwards directly to super the same as Chun-Li, though it's much harder. There's a link in the description to a video about doing that using the HUD elements that you should watch if you're curious. Now let's talk about the twins. First, Yun. His specials are decent cancels here. Zesho Ho gives you a knockdown but is unsafe. Good candidate for empty cancels. Something that it's very useful for is canceling to Ganejin. You can see during the super freeze whether the opponent got hit or not, and since either scenario is fine, it's a nice way to start your Gene combo or pressure. Now Yang. Unlike the other characters in this section, he doesn't really cancel low forward to super much since he has a much better way to spend meter, EX Torazan. Usually when you're pressing Yang's low forward, you're canceling to normal or EX Torazan, both of which are mostly safe, but if you see them hitting, you can continue inputting for damage and a knockdown that gives you a looping mix-up. It's a pretty tricky mix-up between low forward, his high parry only close strong, and command grab, which you follow up with low forward anyway. You really can't go wrong when it's EX Torazan time. You may have noticed that most of the characters in this section are higher top tiers. Having a low medium cancel is pretty good, what else can I say? But I guess it's not enough on its own. Sorry, Sean. Section 2. Pokes. Makoto, Urien, Oro, Ibuki, Elena, Necro, Q, Alex, Remy, and 12 all have low forwards that can't be cancelled and are largely just pokes. These tend to be a bit less notable as normals, and I don't really have as much to say about each one here. There's no cancel options to talk about since there's no cancels obviously. You can't usually land anything extra off these. You know, usually. But it's still important to talk about these normals, at least in overview. Probably the gold standard of this section is Urien. His low forward has great range and frame data. Some have called it an S-tier poke. It has great synergy with Aegis Reflector. If the mirror is right on the opponent and they're blocking high, they get to now eat a full combo. Oro gets something similar to this with Yagyodama. Oro and Urian are really the only ones in this section that get this kind of reward off of low forward. Everyone else in this section usually just uses low forward for their range and low presence. The startup tends to be alright, and they're fairly safe, ranging from +1 to -4 or so. Except Remy, whose low forward is -7 on block, -8 on hit. Necro's low forward has the most range of these, as you'd probably guess. It's easily his safest long-range poke. It can be punished by Hyokusen on hit, but not block. Most of the rest of the cast can't really deal with it at range outside of counter poking, which it is susceptible to. I'll also mention Alex because he has a target combo, low short, low forward, which is for some reason only a 2-frame window from my testing. It seems to have the same frame advantage whether you press it on its own or use the target combo. I said the opposite in the previous section, so yeah, the characters in this section tend to be lower on the tier list. Must be nice for those lucky high tiers canceling their... Wait, hold on, what's that music? Oh, Makoto. Yeah, I've been hinting at it, but we need to talk about Makoto's low forward. It's kind of unique among the non-cancelable ones. It's not actually a low as I showed off at the start. You can block or parry it high, meaning Makoto actually only has 3 total low-hitting moves. Don't let that fool you though, it's crazy good. The hitbox is amazing. Just look at these counter pokes. It's her fastest medium normal, so it's great to press to get meter for relatively low risk. It's +4 on hit, so you can actually link to Super 1 as shown earlier, but this isn't really all that common since there's multiple better ways to land that super. Still, as a former Makoto main, I'd say this is one of her best normals to abuse in neutral between everything I've talked about here. Section 3. Wait, that's just a sweep. So, the characters not in this section usually have their sweep on low roundhouse. You know, usually. Dudley and Hugo, however, have something else going on with these normals. Dudley's low roundhouse is a launcher which you've probably seen since it has great reward on hit. And Hugo's low roundhouse is... something. I don't know. Since there's something else going on with their low roundhouses, their sweep is just on low forward instead. Dudley's isn't amazing. He has lows with much higher reward on hit, both the aforementioned low roundhouse and low short, which you can press twice and confirm to its great supers. I don't really see this one so much. Note the difference in damage. Hugo, on the other hand, his low forward sweep thing is great. It's only -5 on block, pretty rare to punish without a parry. It has great range, and you can combo into it fairly easily from light clap. You can even just block string into it to catch your opponent blocking high or jumping or whatever. Again, at -5, it's pretty low risk. It feels kind of weird to call these low forward. I often just say sweep instead, but I didn't want to omit these two from the video. That's all from me. Thanks for watching.